Imagine stepping into a place where the aroma of like fine cigars kind of hangs in the air.
Oh, I like where this is going.
Right. And there's this palpable sense of history. That was Bar and Books Mánesova in Prague.
Sadly, it closed recently. I saw that.
Yeah, a real loss for the city. But the story, it's way more than just a bar closing its doors. Atmosphere, community, and yeah, some of those bigger forces at play in a city like Prague.
Right, because when a place like that closes, it makes you wonder what else is going on behind the scenes.
Exactly. So to set the scene, we're talking about a bar that embraced a very particular aesthetic.
And it was almost a deliberate throwback, wasn't it? I mean, in this day and age, it's pretty striking to see a place so intentionally designed that way.
Totally. Think like rich, dark wood, a tin ceiling, that sort of thing. It really did transport you to another era.
Almost like stepping back in time.
Right. But then they'd throw in these quirky little touches, just to keep things interesting.
Like-
And get this, they had something called colonial English monkey sconces.
Okay, you have to explain that one. I've never heard of a monkey sconce, let alone a colonial English one.
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure what they were, but they sound amazing.
They definitely pique your curiosity. But what's interesting to me is how all of this, the atmosphere, the design, it all speaks to attracting a very specific kind of clientele.
Definitely not your average corner pub crowd.
Right. This was for people seeking something, well, more refined, an escape from the everyday, maybe even, dare I say, a longing for a bygone era.
I think you're spot on. And it all started, believe it or not, in New York City. 1990, a guy named Raju Mirchandan opens the first bar and books in Greenwich Village.
And it was an instant hit,
A
right?
huge success. So fast forward to 2004, a Czech entrepreneur named Martina Peštová decides to bring the whole concept over to Prague.
Which is brilliant when you think about it. Prague, with its history, its architecture, it's practically made for this kind of establishment.
Totally agree. And she knew both cities, so she had this unique perspective. Anyway, her first location in Prague, on Týnská Street, took off. A few years later, she opens the Mánesova Street location and even expands to Warsaw, Poland. But Bar and Books was always more than just a place to grab a drink or enjoy a cigar.
Oh yeah, they went all in on the experience.
Live music, cabaret shows. They even had this burlesque show called Voyage à Trois.
Voyage à toi. Sounds risque.
It was bar and books. They like to push the boundaries a bit, and that's what made it so special. It was a cultural hub, a place where people could connect over shared interests.
And that's what makes its closure even more, well, it's a shame, isn't it? Because you don't just replace that kind of atmosphere overnight.
No, you don't. And the story of what happened, well, it's almost like something out of a movie. So it's 2024, and a Czech billionaire, Zdeněk Sendra, buys the building on Mánesova Street.
Uh-oh. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, this is where things get a little wild. So Sendra buys the building, and then slowly but surely things start to, let's say, change. Bar and book signs, gone. Trash cans disappeared.
Sounds like someone was sending a message.
It gets weirder. Construction debris starts piling up in the hallways.
And I'm guessing these changes didn't exactly improve the quality of life for the tenants.
Let's just say it made things pretty unbearable. Thankfully, the Czech investigative program Black Sheep caught wind of what was happening. They interviewed other tenants in the building, and let's just say that Sender's actions didn't exactly win him any fans.
I'm guessing not.
So definitely not random then.
Right. And to make matters even more intriguing, when Black Sheep reached out to Zdeněk Sendra for a comment, he declined to be interviewed.
Ooh, that's never a good sign. Makes you wonder what's going on behind the scenes. So, what happened to Bar and Books?
Well, facing all this pressure, Martina Peštová and Raju Mirchandan decided to close the Mánesova Street location.
I can't imagine that was an easy decision.
I'm sure it wasn't. But they didn't go down without a fight.
Exactly. They threw one last big party with music by Anna Manzina and Robin Feinsilver.
Wait, are they the ones who performed as that duo, Lady and the Devil?
The very same. They had been performing at Bar and Books for years.
Imagine the bar packed to the brim with regulars, that familiar scent of cigar smoke hanging in the air, and everyone reminiscing about their favorite Bar and Books memories.
It was a bittersweet farewell, but it underscored the amazing sense of community that the place fostered. It's sad to see such a unique place go, especially under those circumstances.
It is. But on a more positive note, the original Bar and Books on Týnská Street is still up and running.
Well, that's good to hear at least. So the legacy lives on.
Exactly.